when you're in a gimmick and you've accepted this is the playing field for our gimmick match, and then you come up with creative ways. I liked it when, who was it got their leg stuck in a Thunderdome cage or the fight pit? It was the fight pit, the last fight pit they had.
Yeah.
Ciampa got his leg stuck in, but because there happened to be a gap. I like that. That's what I pitched to Fritz himself for Texas Stadium in '85, the match between Flair and Kevin. It took place in 2 rings because they had a 2-ring 10-man Zabada. And they wanted to do a count out. I said, don't do the count out with them fighting on the floor, dragging each other off the apron that Bruiser Brody has made famous here in Texas. I said, have them counted out in between the rings that are setting next to each other, and they're on the aprons of those. So technically, shouldn't that count as a playing field? But technically, they're out of the ring. And you have your main referee wiped out in the previous match. You put in a rookie referee. He makes a fucking questionable call, and you send it to the Alliance. You know what they did?
I don't remember the finish.
They did the fucking double pull each other off the apron until a referee counts 10 finish.
I'm shocked. I never heard this story before. I know that towards the end.
You never heard that?
Well, I know towards the end of your run in World Class, they started including you in the booking meetings, but I never knew that you actually pitched to Fritz an idea for the finish of that match.
Well, I pitched it to everybody, but Fritz was the main one because I was trying to get David Manning, Bronco Lubitsch, Gino Hernandez, Chris Adams, myself, Fritz, Kevin, I think was there.
And they said the 89 booking committee was too large.
Yeah. Well, see, and Gary Hart, it wasn't even really everybody. They were just wanting ideas for the stadium show. And basically, I've already said it, but just to clarify, Flair was defending the NWA World title against Kevin, and the match was going to be able to be taking place in both rings that they had set up. And they came up they wanted to do a count out because the boys couldn't get beat, but at the same time, they weren't going to switch the belt. And I just thought that was a double count out because, Kevin hits the big crossbody and they go over the top or whatever the fuck and they don't get back in. And that's why I said, why don't Rick get the heat, Kevin make a big comeback, hit his fucking big crossbody, 1-2, barely fucking Flair kicks out. Flair tries to escape to the other ring. As he gets into gets out of the ropes in one ring and is going to the other one, Kevin fucking meets him, and they fight for a second there, and Kevin fucking hits him, and he takes a bump into the other ring. And Kevin does another big flying crossbody. Boom, 1-2, almost in that ring. Flair's trying to get out the other way, back to the other ring. He gets out, and before he can get in the second ring, Kevin catches him again and puts the fucking claw on him. Now he's got the iron claw on fucking Flair, and Flair's arms are fucking flailing. And the people are screaming. But the referee, who would have been, God, was it Ralph Pulley? They had a junior referee at that point, and I said, hurt David Manning in the previous match.
Rick Hazard.
Well, Rick was still fairly experienced. The point is, they were just starting a new referee. I said, put the new referee out there. Because you got to have a fucking out. That's where you want your out for Kevin, your appeal to the commission. Anyway, the referee behind Kevin's back is counting because they're on the aprons that are touching each other in between the two rings. And as he's counting, Flair's drooping. And when Flair's shoulders hit the mat on the apron there and Kevin's got the claw on, it should be about 8. Because that's when the referee goes 9, 10, call for the bell. The fucking Kevin jumps up, thinks he's won. The people probably would too. And he announces it's a double count out. And they fucking haul Rick out of there. I said, now you got a little controversy because you can appeal that to the NWA and blah, blah, blah. They went with the other one.
Did anyone support you? Did anyone think that you had the better idea?
No, absolutely not, because that was the first time I'd been in one of the booking meetings, and they didn't want me to come back.
Did anyone ask you your thoughts on how to book the Midnight Express and the Fantastics with Little John?
I gave them a few there. And,
Right, that's the same Texas Stadium show. Yeah.
No, there's the thing. Gino and Chris didn't want me to come back because if I was in the booking meetings, then the Midnight Express possibly might be featured more. And Gary, I assume, wouldn't give a shit because he was over it at that point anyway. He just was coming in to help out. David Manning wanted to be the booker. Ken Mantell obviously was the booker. I forgot to mention he was there. Ken Mantell was the booker, and he definitely didn't want me in any more meetings because Ken Mantell's complicated finishes were small package 1, 2, 3. And he was way in over his head. So, and we were leaving shortly because as soon as that Texas Stadium match happened and we got our check, that's when we fucking called Crockett. So I wouldn't have been around for too many more booking meetings anyway.